over 8 million views in just 4 days. For most people, this 1 minute and 49-second clip was their first introduction to both the 15-year-old player named Nape and TAS in Rocket League. Yes, Rocket League Twitter basically exploded as pros, content creators, and even other freestylers expressed both their awe and confusion about what they were really watching. While I too was impressed, I didn't share that confusion. You see, I have known Nape since late 2022. I am also well versed on the methods he used to accomplish this incredible feat and how difficult it really is. In fact, I technically was the one that introduced him to TAS in Rocket League. But this isn't a story about me. As someone who has closely followed Nape's progress since almost the beginning, I am here today to dispel a lot of common misconceptions about what Tool Assisted Speedrunning is in Rocket League, while also recounting the journey of how an average freestyler managed to break the skill ceiling and our collective minds. Now, Nape was just a Champ 1 Rocket League player with some decent freestyling skills when he published his first Rocket League video in early 2022. In this actually pretty well made flip reset tutorial, Nape promoted the Backismod free play checkpoint plugin as a good way to practice your freestyle setups over and over again. But Nape soon thought of another application for this tool. By using the checkpoint feature to set up multiple freestyle clips and then splicing the sections together in an editor, he was able to create an almost impossible Rocket League freestyle sequence, which he then posted to YouTube in June 2022. It was entitled, "Using Checkpoints to Make the Hardest Shot Possible in Rocket League." Now, I think it's important to note that when Nape posted this, he was upfront about it being a modded clip. No, he didn't need to lie and pretend it was all made in one attempt for it to be an interesting and entertaining play. The point was to assemble a unique creation in a way that was still impressive despite it not actually being done live. A month later, he followed up with another checkpoint crafted play. But then Nape said he got bored and didn't post any Rocket League content for the next few months. On October 3rd, 2022, Nape's Rocket League career was forever changed when my video introduced him to TAS. Tool Assisted Speedrunning has been around since the early 2000s and has active communities in many different games. TAS tools allow you to slow down the physics or progression of a game and record precise inputs to create a theoretically perfect playthrough. This may involve pausing and going back to repeat certain sections until each part has been optimized, after which you can play back the results at regular speed to create a clip with an accuracy that is beyond what any human can accomplish, while still adhering to the rules and logic of the game. The Backismod TAS plugin made by Blacku brought these powers to Rocket League, though a better definition for its application would probably be Tool Assisted Shot. To make a Rocket League TAS with the plugin, you start by recording your inputs at a reduced speed until you make a mistake. Then, after updating the recording, you can play it back until the point you want to take over again, and just continue the shot from there, repeating as necessary. Once complete, the entire shot can be then shown at regular speed. While obviously not being the same type of skill as performing a freestyle play live in one attempt, in my video I predicted that TAS in Rocket League had the exciting potential to allow players to push the skill ceiling and take Rocket League to places it had never gone before. Thus, along with the public release of Blacku's plugin, I also announced the first TAS freestyle competition and set up some channels in my Discord to support this new community. And that is where I first met Nape. With his freestyling skills and prior experience modding shots, it was almost like Rocket League TAS was designed just for Nape. It was basically the free play checkpoint plugin on steroids. Adding the ability to both record in slow motion and continue a shot rather than having to splice it together opened up a whole new world of possibilities. And Nape got up to speed with this new tool rather quickly. He posted his first Rocket League TAS to YouTube just 4 days later. From there, Nape focused on getting the perfect entry for my competition. His next upload was a 2-minute freestyle on a custom jungle temple map that took almost 20 hours of work to complete. Unfortunately, it was a bit long for the rules of the contest, so he immediately started working on another submission. On December 5th, I released my TAS competition video highlighting 12 unique entries while asking viewers to vote for the top 3. Nape's submission, the spinny flip, included a potentially new mechanic he had dubbed a backwards jacksie, which he would later make a tutorial for on his channel. The clip ended up getting enough votes for 3rd place in the contest. Second place went to Mickey Alice, who actually decided to use the plugin on a speedrunning map where he managed to complete the first stage of Lethamir's giant rings while using 0 boost. And at first place, we had this clean 2-wheel dribble play by Ninja Frog, which was definitely an impressive tool-assisted shot at the time, but now looking back, it's pretty tame when compared to where Rocket League TAS would end up going in just a few short months. Yes, Nape may have only managed 3rd place in the contest, but he was just getting started. Now, before we continue the story and move on to the next section, I just want to take a second to ask for a little help in my push to hit 300,000 subscribers. If you've enjoyed this video so far, make sure you are subscribed with notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Heading into 2023, Nape spent the next few months transitioning his content from just chaining together complicated freestyle moves to inhuman plays that seemed to defy the mechanics of the game. And for a channel with less than 1k subs, he started pulling in some pretty impressive numbers. Yes, despite the shots obviously being made with TAS, it seemed some portion of the community did find his creations interesting and entertaining. The question of whether TAS should be seen as impressive or not is already becoming a well-debated topic in Rocket League. Now, the entertainment value of watching tool-assisted shots versus regular freestyle clips is of course subjective, but really these two separate ways to play Rocket League should be able to be admired at the same time, if only for different reasons. If we look at a game like Trackmania as an example, both tassing and regular gameplay have been able to coexist and be appreciated for the different results and content they provide. I feel Rocket League should be no different. Nape isn't taking some freestyler's viewers or job when he spends 10 hours assembling a physics-bending run through a dribble course. He's creating something we have never seen before, and would have never got to see if it wasn't for TAS. He's also showing us things that are theoretically possible within the game. Yes, there's the potential that TAS discoveries may eventually make their way into regular Rocket League gameplay in the future. Of course, there's the other side of it too, where task makers just try to pull off the most ridiculous and useless moves they can think of, like say having a ball dribble you. Honestly, unorthodox stuff like this is probably my favorite part of Rocket League TAS, and by March 2023, no one was better at creating the unexpected in TAS than Nape, whether it be riding a ball, riding a puck, or pulling off 30 flip resets in just 3 seconds. While Nape's TAS abilities continued to improve, behind the scenes he was also working on developing another skill, map creation. After a couple false starts due to it seeming way too complicated, Nape finally decided to commit to learning the Unreal Development Kit, better known as UDK. He said it took about 100 hours of study to get to the point where he felt like he knew what he was doing. And finally, in early June, he was able to release a video that included his first attempt at modding a map to go with his TAS. But Nape didn't go to all that trouble just to give himself a cannon for a teammate. His main goal was to be able to create complicated challenges and obstacles to highlight his TAS skills and push his creativity. Yes, a map would no longer be just a canvas on which his TAS would play out. It would instead be a key part of the final product. Which leads us to July 9th, and the shot that shocked the whole Rocket League community. All in all, Nape says this clip represents about 90 hours of work between UDK, Blender, and making the TAS. Built on the back of Les' Manscaped Dribble Challenge map, there's a lot of elements here that are obviously designed by Nape for the benefit of the clip. For example, the robot blaster fire is not being dodged, but instead programmed around the TAS, and the movement of the asteroids are precisely planned and controlled. But the purpose of a shot like this is the final product. One could call it a work of art to be admired for the resulting visual display, regardless of the fact that it was carefully curated by a scripted trial and error. Of course, not everyone is going to look at it that way, and that's okay. But for those of you that do appreciate such efforts, this is an exciting time in Rocket League. I would be amiss if I didn't highlight the small but dedicated TAS community that has been fostered in my Discord. Yes, Nape isn't the only guy out there pulling off some pretty impressive plays. Bredzel was an early adopter of the TAS plugin and also participated in my contest. One of my favorite clips by him is this one where he set up a freestyle shot with a cube. Though I am a bit biased, having recently made a whole video about GC's training with cue ball back in June. Locus is a player that has been mastering the art of tool-assisted team play shots. These involve him first creating the TAS as normal, then using a second controller in split screen mode to join the match as the TAS is playing back, at which point he participates live with the TAS recording, technically making a team play with himself. Since TAS files are shareable, recently Locus and Bredzel have actually been collaborating, one player creating a short sequence, after which they send the file to the other to continue the play. From there, it ends up going back and forth several times, until you get a sequence like this. And then there's players like Rhea, who, in the spirit of TAS, create weird clips like this just because they can. If you're interested in joining the TAS community, I will have the plugin, a tutorial, and Discord information all linked in the description of this video. Also, I want to encourage everyone to give the professional TAS player Nape their love and support by subscribing to his channel, linked here. My name is Rocket Sledge. Thanks for watching.